Hey, this is Roger, the desert shaman. And I do mean desert. I'm out here in the desert, and we just got through a horrific month of triple digit. I don't want to beat this drum too much. Getting a little relief today. I mean, I think it's actually going to be 98 and some clouds and thunderstorms. Matter of fact, I can hear the thunder outside periodically. Long stretch there, though. Um, I always love thunderstorms because the Wakanyan are in the thunder clouds. The Wakanyan would be the thunderbird, and they like to fly around in the clouds and do little different tricks and have lightning bolts and that type of thing. So I love the thunder beings. It always brings me a little bit of solace, a little bit of new energy, let's say, change of energy. And thunderstorms are nice too because they clear the air. When I say clear the air, I mean they really do clear the air on all kinds of levels. Trials, tribulations, that type thing. So today I'm going to talk about, and I was thinking, I get inspired in the morning. I was thinking about talking about family, friends, and strangers. Family, friends, and strangers. I'm sure a lot of people out there might identify with this. Let's talk about what you consider family, what you consider friends, and let's talk about strangers too. Now, I'm coming to the conclusion after years and years and years and years and years on this earth that family can be complete strangers. They can be people you don't even know or people that appear in your life. Sometimes that can be more family than, let's say, a blood son or daughter or sibling, okay? You may go through life, you may be raised a certain way where you have siblings and you have even spouses. I'll throw spouses in there, or girlfriends and boyfriends, whatever. You may have gone through life and experienced situations, okay, where you have reached out to certain people. You may have fallen on hard times. Hell, you may have even been on the verge of being homeless or homeless, okay? And you may have reached out and maybe even begged, okay, for help from certain family members, okay? Now, a lot of family members, you might get them on the phone when you need help, and a lot of family members will talk a good talk. In other words, they'll they'll console you, okay, and they'll try to say things that are uplifting and make you feel better. And that's all well and good, okay? And let me say right now that there is no judgment here. I'm not coming from a place of judgment. I'm not coming from a place of condemnation or that this person's bad or that person's bad. I'm just presenting facts here, okay? Just something to reflect upon. So you may be in a world of hurt, and you might call somebody, or you might ask somebody that you consider a friend or family or friends, okay? And a lot of people, some people I know group these two together. They say, "Oh, they're my family and they're my friends." So What constitutes a friend? What constitutes family, okay? What constitutes a loving, compassionate family or friend? Like I said before, you can call somebody up and they can shoot the shit with you and they can give you a lot of good advice, or they can try to heal, put balm on your wounds, so to speak, verbally. Well, what if they don't bail you out, let's say? What if you're in a situation where you need help and you need to get bailed out, either financially or physically? An adjustment needs to be made where your family and friends make sure that you have food, shelter, clothing, and all that good shit. I'm finding as you're going through life that strangers, here's the stranger component coming in here. Sometimes a stranger will come into your life out of nowhere. You could be in a world of hurt. You could be on the verge of complete nervous breakdown or whatever, and all of a sudden somebody will come along, and instead of saying something to you to make you feel better, they will actually do something for you. They will do something meaningful, something that actually helps your situation out on a physical level. They may appear out of nowhere. They may be some workman that works around your house, or they may be a person you meet on the street or in a restaurant or wherever. And they may actually do something that indicates that they have good character and a good heart, okay? What do I mean when I say a good heart, heart-centered, good heart? Well, I'm talking mostly about true compassion. I'm almost talking in the sense of somebody that would step in the way, take a bullet for you almost, okay? I mean, that's an extreme example, but it's somebody that doesn't think about, hey, you know what, I'm going to do this. I'm going to give, or I'm going to correct a situation because I'll get good karma out of it. It'll be good for me, and I'll get good karma, and it will come back to help me. Well, is that thought wrong? Well, not necessarily, but wouldn't the thought be better if it was, hey, I want to help that person? Period. I don't care if I get good karma out of it or whatever. The situation is there. And if I see a need, well, then I'm going to fulfill that need. I'm going to give to that person. That is true family to me, okay? That is, doesn't have to be blood family, is what I'm saying here. It doesn't have to be, oh, they're my brother or sister or son or daughter or mother and father. Doesn't have to be blood. We are all my relations, okay? That's what the Lakota nation says about people. All my relations, everybody is related. Everybody is of one large family. Now, not everybody in that family is going to be compassionate, loving, kind, and whatever. That may not happen. And it's the same with the immediate family. When you say immediate family, well, I would be speaking of like brothers and sisters and moms and dads and that type of thing. Even cousins or nephews or whatever. That would be immediate family. But even immediate family is divided, okay? I have reached out. I can speak from personal experience. I have reached out in the past to certain people in family, let's say. Now, one caveat with that, my mom and dad, okay, good old mom and dad, even though they may have done things that were not necessarily beneficial for you as far as your upbringing and belief systems, they may have made sure that always you were out of the storm. You had a shelter in the storm, a roof over your head. They may have always had enough in their heart to realize that they needed to help you on that level. And I've been helped by my mom and dad years and years ago. I never had to worry about being out in the cold when they were around. But as far as siblings go, here's what happens. They get so much into their own life, okay? And I understand that people have to have their own life. And I understand that they have their own problems and their own concerns. And, whether it be a sibling, a son, a daughter, or whatever, they have their life and they have their challenges and they have all the shit that they're going through. And let's say they're in a rut, okay? They might be in a rut of doing the same slave existence over and over and over again and struggling from day to day. And it may be hard for them to, let's say, bail you out or help you or whatever if you need it. Okay, they may find it, they may want to give you all kinds of words of consolation and solace and heal take the balm of verbiage to try to make you feel better. But does it really make you feel better if you're not getting that help that you need? Are you still going to worry, and are you still going to be anxious, and are you still going to be fearful if you see destitution or whatever at your doorstep and nobody's giving you a hand? Well, there's that old axiom: actions speak louder than words. Okay, actions speak louder than words. People can say, "Oh, I care about you, I really do," or they can say, "I care about you, but I have my own life to live, and that my happiness comes first to me. My happiness comes first." Where am I going with this? Well, maybe people ought to reconsider their outlook, reconsider their circumstances. Let's say if a son or daughter is too busy and too much of in a rut or whatever to help their mom or dad. What does that say? What does that say? Well, maybe it says that they need to change their circumstances and go in another direction, okay, that will allow them to have the ability to extend a helping hand to others, okay, instead of being so involved in their own life and in their own situation and in their own worldview. Maybe they ought to change direction a little bit. Now, what happens when you change direction? What happens when you decide, you know what, here I am in a situation, financial situation, or let's say a familial situation, a family situation, where I'm hamstrung as far as reaching out to somebody else that I really care about. How can I change direction in my life to be able to accommodate more compassion, more heartfelt love, more help, extending a helping hand to others? What can I do? Now, when you change direction, the universe helps you. When you change direction, when you decide that you need to get out of your rut and that you need to go in another direction so that you can make more accommodations, let's say for other people, that always is a good thing. It always, when you're intent with the universe, okay, when you have good intentions and you change direction and you pull yourself out of a certain rut, that always is a good thing for you because, again, the universe will reach out to you and give you compassion because it knows that you're giving somebody else compassion or you're trying to make adjustments for that. That's something that people should consider, okay? It's really funny because people often say, hey, that person's my friend or that person's my family. And they'll carry on conversations with them for hours, okay? And they may even pray for them. Yeah, I'm praying for my family and for my friends, but does their family and friends really pray for them? I don't know, that's just an offshoot idea. I have ideas that come into my head. Here's another thing. A lot of belief systems will cause division, okay? A lot of belief systems between family and friends and that type of thing. Worldviews, they cause division. No, I once told a person recently that in the Bible, when Yeshua spoke of the fact that he came to cause a division in families, not a unification, a division. A lot of Christians don't know what that means. A lot of people out there do not have a clue as why would Jesus cause a division amongst families? Well, it's not Yeshua the man or Jesus, it's the Christ consciousness. It's the Christ consciousness. And so some people will have Christ consciousness or be tuned into that, and others won't. And if you have Christ consciousness, you're going to come from a very high level of vibratory level, very high third eye level, I call it, and see things beyond the scope of what they really are, okay? In other words, you're going to see beyond the illusion. So when you have Christ consciousness, you're almost you are, if you're really tuned into standing in awareness and Christ consciousness, you're tuned into beyond belief systems. All right? You're beyond belief systems. You see them for what they are. So let's say there could be division between friends. There could be, a friend of mine once put it very well, the elephant in the room, okay? The elephant in the room is something that you try to not look at or try to avoid, but there it is, this big giant fucking elephant in the room. And no matter how much you say people are friends or how much you think you're on the same wavelength or how much, there will be something there that will be a divisive element, okay? And it could be, like, let's say, a religious belief system. Or it could be a matter like the COVID thing, dividing families up. One person believes that, they should buy into that agenda, and another person goes, no, that's not for me because I know better. I'm coming from a level of Christ consciousness. And there it is. There's that elephant in the room, and it won't go away. And no matter how much you try to say that this person's your friend, when it comes to a situation like that, they may not. I mean, if you're not on the same page, okay, if you're not really, and that's a big page right there. That's a big page as far as I'm concerned about giving your power away, and even belief systems, religious belief systems, or any kind of belief system, political. It could be a political belief system, you know. You could say, hey, I think this guy's a pretty good guy, that's running for office, and your friend could say, oh, he's horrible. What are you talking about? Now, a lot of people will, they'll try to go beyond the pale here and just say, well, let them believe how they want, okay, and I'll believe how I want. We don't really need to let that affect our friendship. But is that friendship long distance? I mean, you could be talking to him on the phone, right? And it's real easy to get by stuff or put stuff on the back burner or try to hide the elephant in the room. But what if you had to live with them? What if you had to live with them? What if you had to be there every day, day to day, having conversations? Conversations about things that are funny and things that you might have in common wear out real fast when you get down to the nitty-gritty belief systems, the hardcore skeletal belief systems. Then is where the animosity arises. That's when the elephant suddenly appears in the room, and you go, oh my God, I'm in a situation here now that I ignored before, or let's say it is critical to my worldview, and all of a sudden there's dissension there. There's dissension. Unless you can both come from that area of the Christ consciousness, then you're going to know that what's true and what isn't true, and what matters and what doesn't matter, and what might be harmful to you or what might not be harmful to you, let's say in the way of the medical situation or politics or whatever. So what do you have then? You have a reckoning. You actually, you're in a situation where you can't get out of it, and then you have to deal with it, all right? That's just an example. I'm just giving examples here. And remember, this is my take. This might not be for you. You might have other comments about what I'm talking about here. One thing that I want to emphasize in this video, though, actions speak louder than words. Actions speak louder than words. If people reach out to help you on a physical level and they keep you out of the storm, out of harm's way. Now, I'm going to talk about some of the people that watch me on this channel here. I've had some people that have given out of their hearts. I mean, obviously it has to be they don't know me except for on this channel and for the things that I say. I've had people reach out to me and give me contributions and donations that blow my mind. I mean, one person might give me more than what I might get from a son or daughter or a spouse or girlfriend or whatever. I've had people on this channel, and it does blow my mind, that fit that description of family, okay, that fit that description of friendship. And I know that this, when I get a contribution that's substantial to me, and I won't even go there, but when I get a contribution that is substantial, not a nickel and dime thing, it blows my mind. I mean, it does, because I come to the conclusion that those people are more family than my family. Those people are, they might be out working a job, 9 to 5 job, and they're not all that rich. They may not all have all that much money, and then again, they may, but they may have that much money. They may have more than I think. But it doesn't really matter, because they're giving from their heart, okay? They're giving from their heart. There's no expectations, not really. When you give, there's no expectations. You're just giving because you give and you want to help. It's just like there's a workman around here that came by the other day, and when it's 110 degrees out, and I'm sitting here going, oh man, I'm not a spring chicken anymore, and to have to go out in heat to that degree. And when I have to take my trash out, I have to drag it out by the handle, probably 100 feet, 200 feet out the front gate, because I'm kind of in a ranch type area here. Not that I own a ranch or anything. I'm just in that kind of area. Got to drag it all the way out there. Not the lightest thing in the world when it's full. You see some guy come by that is a workman around the area that might be working for the landlord. He stops his truck, he gets the trash can, looks around, opens the gate, and brings it all the way up to the house without even asking, without anybody saying, hey, will you do that for me? Will you take that? Without even thinking about it. Just thinking about, you know what? That person might needs help. They're farther along in years, and I'm going to do this, okay? Without thinking about it. Now, that is good character. That is a good heart. Doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out. Nobody has to do that for anybody. That's a perfect example of somebody coming out of nowhere and giving, okay? And that's just like some of the people on this channel. When I do my videos, and I've been doing them for 10 plus years, when I do my videos, I might think that I might get $10 or $20, but when it gets to something more substantial, not a nickel and dime thing, I'm amazed. I mean, I am so thankful to those people out there for being family, okay, for being true friends. I want you to know that. I definitely want you to know that and feel it, okay? That's where it's at, okay? So strangers can be family. Strangers can be friends, true friends, through action, okay? And it's not just about money, see? It's about, just like what I said, somebody helping you in some small way. Making sure that you're, more comfortable. Making sure that you're, now see, in the Native tradition, in the Native American tradition, and I'm saying in the old Native American tradition, because on the res today, there's a lot of people that don't give a fuck, okay? There's some of the younger generation has got caught up in the gang thing, and not everybody is, let's say, ancestral or coming from that situation, the older situation, the traditional situation. And what was the traditional situation? Well, the traditional situation was caring for the elders in the family, okay? Let's say like on the Hopi Res or any reservation, Pine Ridge or any of those things, any of those places. In the day, back in the day, they made sure that their grandmothers and grandfathers or fathers and mothers, as they grew older and were more self-sufficient, they made sure that their family was watched out for. They made sure that they were included in the family circle. Okay. They made sure that the grandfathers spent a lot of time with the grandchildren because they knew that they would impart wisdom to them and that they would impart love and compassion and well-being. And vice versa. They knew that the children would love the grandparents or the elders in the tradition. Okay, it was a tradition. You don't see that today too much. Now, yes, you will on occasion find that situation. Let's say out in America, not on the res, out. Or you might find that situation on the res. That's how it should be. That's how it should be. There should be no question about, hey, are we going to take care of mom and dad or grandma and grandpa? Are we going to make sure that they're always comfortable till the day they take the journey? Are we going to make sure that they're as comfortable as possible? See, that's the attitude that you want. That's the attitude that you should have by God. You should have that attitude. And if you're in a marriage, or if you have a son, or if you have a daughter, or if you have a spouse, or if you have a girlfriend, that's the attitude that should exist between you. Nothing but that attitude. Loyalty to the fact, not loyalty so much to the person, let's say they have their faults or whatever. It's not about loyalty to their faults. It's about loyalty to them as a person, a human being. That's what the natives used to call themselves, a human being. We are human beings. Now, when you do something like this, when you give from your heart, does it make you feel good? Well, it does. It makes you feel good. That's instant karma. It's not like expecting something down the road. It's an instant good feeling. It's a feeling of giving. And anytime you are of service, see, that's the main thing that people should know. When you're of service to others is when you are experiencing the heart center, the compassion, the love, okay? It's a healing thing. It's a very healing thing. Instead of, you could be lovers, and you could have a lover live in the same house, or let's say a girlfriend or whatever, and you're like strangers. It's like you only talk to each other when you need to. It's like you could pass each other in the hallway and not say a fucking word, okay? Is this the way it should be? Because not in my world, okay? Not in my world. My world says, be compassionate and loving. And see, this goes for me too. I try every day to be kind, compassionate, and loving. And That's all you can do is try. If you're making an honest effort to be kind, compassionate, and loving, no matter, we're talking about unconditional love here. Unconditional. There are no conditions. So, is that the kind of love that you believe comes from the Creator? From Great Spirit? Whatever name you want to call Great Spirit, Wakan Tonka, Tunkashila, Shiva, whatever name that you want to call that spirit, the I am, the I am. Do you feel that compassion and love from that source? Because really that's the main giver, the main lover, the main compassionate one, the main giver of compassion, the Christ consciousness, the higher consciousness. Do you believe that that source, or you could call it God, let's just call it God for those people that are familiar with that term. Do you believe that God loves you? Or were you raised in a situation where, I don't know if God loves me, it depends on what I do. I mean, am I a sinner? Do I sin? Do I do things wrong? Do I do things bad? You're constantly playing catch up as to whether you believe that God really loves you or not. If you believe and you feel, let's go beyond belief, let's go feel. Okay, and you feel. Let's say you were raised from very early age, not in a religion, okay, but with the concept, a beautiful, flowing, loving, compassionate energy coming from the universe specifically for you. You are loved. You can actually hear the voice from the heavens or from your higher self or wherever saying, I love you. I really do love you, and there's no need to worry about a thing. That's the greatest friend, that's the greatest stranger, that's the greatest family that you can get. When you trust in that source and when you know that something is looking out for you, then all of a sudden things arise from complete strangers. I always like that saying, be careful who you're talking to. You might be talking to an angel, or you might be talking to Jesus Christ himself appearing in somebody else's body, or you might be talking to Krishna or Buddha, okay, coming directly to you through somebody else. Be careful who you talk to, and not only that, but be careful how you treat people. You may have family members, or I may have family members that don't have a high regard for me, but how about my Christ consciousness? Do they have a high regard for that? What if they thought that saying that I just said about be careful who you're talking to, or wonder who you're talking to, or you never know who you're talking to, could be the Christ consciousness in the flesh, right there in front of you. Seems imperfect, has all kinds of imperfections, habits and whatever. But when that comes through, that comes through. And when that's there, that's there. And there's no doubt about that. When it's there, it's there. So this video is for anybody out there that is wondering about these things, okay? Complete strangers can be your best friend. Complete strangers, okay? They can be your best family. They can be better than any experience that you ever had with your family, just for let's say a half an hour. So that's why I would say to my brothers and sisters out there to always come from the heart, okay? If you come from the heart, if you come from true compassion, and yeah, you can get angry. I mean, there's moments where you go, damn, I wonder why that person doesn't care more about me or whatever. Well, you can wonder that. That's a good thing to wonder. But don't judge. I never judge. I can't judge because we're all coming from a place of imperfection, missing the mark, missing the mark. Imperfection means, or even sin, the word sin doesn't mean what people, oh, you're condemned, man, you're going to go to hell. Doesn't mean that at all. It means missing the mark. That's actually what the word sin means, missing the mark. And so a lot of people are going to miss the mark, okay, with you or with me. They're not going to hit the target. They're not going to come across maybe like they should. But forgiveness is in order and compassion is in order here. And when I talk of these things, it comes from a place of compassion, really. It comes from a place of compassion. And it comes from a place of trying to put things into perspective. That's all I'm talking about here, putting things into perspective. And not expecting things through the channels that you think they're going to come through. They're going to come through, if you got a good heart, they're going to come from entirely different avenues. Almost miraculously, okay? And it doesn't matter what you go through. If you feel that source or that power or that love is with you, okay? It will never let you bear more than what you can bear. So anyway, I thought I would talk on those things today, and I hope this is a help to some people, and it always helps me to reflect on this kind of thing. Helps me to reflect on this kind of thing. And the more that you can reflect on it, the more things will come to you, the more enlightenment will come to you. And if anybody has any comments out there, you can give your feedback. I'm always open to listen. I get some real good comments, and again, I get some real good donations, okay, from people. And if that is what you would like to do, as far as I'm concerned, you know where to go. It's in the show notes, spiritofcrazyhorse.com. I'm not going to beat that drum because I know that there's some people out there that truly care. It blows my mind. It really does. And I don't have a big following. Some people on some channels give money just because I don't know, they like I don't know what they like, but if you're giving it because you feel compassion and love, that's a whole different thing than just, oh, I like that channel or whatever. All right, I'll leave it there. It's Roger Thunder. Looking forward to the next 2-3 days of a few thunderstorms and cool weather. And by cool, I mean 98 degrees. Oh, man. Later on, adios.